Today's matchup, ROX Tigers, SK Telecom T1, Kingzone Dragon X, Afrika Freaks, beginning of the end. 2018 League of Legends Champions Korea Spring Split.
Welcome back, guys, to LCK Spring 2018. I'm Atlas. I haven't been here for a heck of a long time, but of course you guys remember this, guys. It's Pop Smithy. He's here every day.
Yay! That's my life.
Damn right, and it's amazing. I'm so happy that you're here, Papa Smithy, because we've got one hell of a day. ROX Tigers taking on SKT, which wouldn't have been the hype matchup for today weeks past, but now is feeling super hype. And then Afrika versus Kingzone, two teams wanting to bounce back from losses, which I wasn't expecting to say.
It's a bit of an opposite day effect, where ROX Tigers, 3-match win streak, SKT, after their 5-match losing streak, also a 3-match win streak. So a streak will end. But that was supposed to be the story of our second match, guys. It was supposed to be 16-0 versus 12-0. But first Afrika stumbled, then Kingzone stumbled. It's still top 3 competition. It should still be an epic match. But the hype levels are in a weird spot. And it's honestly, the hype is kind of around, will which of Afrika or Kingzone have a 0-2 week after dominating for the last month?
Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible watching them just steamroll through the opposition, but I'm really excited because it means that everything is coming back around. We started the season and we were wondering where these teams were going to shake out, and then we were having a whole bunch at the top of the table, as you can see right now as we bring up the rankings. It may be that we've got a 3-way tie theoretically for first by the end of the week. Like, it's crazy stuff that could potentially happen today, Pop.
I mean, it's been such an evolving story. KSV coming out as the best-looking team after becoming world champions and then struggling so heavily in recent memory. ROX Tigers and SKT. This is the first time SKT's ever ended a round robin with a negative win-loss in the first round robin. They usually are at least steady starters. They're 7th place coming into their first match of the second round robin. The fans are looking for more, Atlas. I think they're looking for at least 7 wins here. If you're an SKT fan, get you back into top 3 competition. It's all so close in the LCK, and right now, ROX Tigers come in, at least based on the table, better than SK Telecom T1.
Yeah, the interesting thing is both of these teams coming off 3 victories in a row, but it was ROX Tigers falling to SKT in the very first match that both of these teams played so far this season. So we are in second round robin territory, and we have to look back and see how things went for these teams the first time around. Not too many changes on the side of the ROX Tigers, but they've been looking better and better. 2 of their victories have been against Jin Air Green Wings and KSV. No slouch there as far as the competition is concerned. But then 3 losses in a row against against KT, Kingzone, and Afrika, the 3 top teams in the league. ROX are really sort of setting themselves as in that 4th place, in that sort of 4th to 6th position here in the league.
And the first time they faced, it was before everything. It was on the early days of the season. First match for both.
Yeah.
SKT just about beating them. So much has changed since then. But interestingly, see 10 players there. We do have Leo and Pyrian in the picture. You'll notice another picture here on the left that might surprise you. Tal does not retain his position today. Untara is into the lineup, and it's actually the first time we'll see Untara and Blossom play together. So another new configuration of 5 players for SKT T1.
Yeah, and a stat that I was actually trying to work out for myself before we went live, Pop Smithy, was how many iterations of SKT have we actually had? How many permutations of this team have there been so far this season? And it's too many to count on one hand. There's been so many different SKTs that we've seen hit the Rift, and maybe this is going to be the best one.
It feels like we're at, what, 7 or 8 at this point, because we've had Wolf play 2 roles, we've had multiple junglers, 3 junglers playing so far, but Blossom keeps his spot. Both teams coming off a 3-match win streak, but I'd say ROX's has been more impressive. Both teams have beat KSV. The Kongdu Monster Series for SKT was closer than they would have liked, given that Kongdu have been in free fall recently, whereas ROX Tigers put paid to MVP. Very interesting to see Blossom keep his spot again. I think it's the right decision. He's growing, but there's also the growing pains of coming in as a very aggressive solo queue jungler into a team like SKT, and now a new top laner So we'll see if there's a good link-up play between Blossom and Untara. Again, these two teams played so long ago now on either the first or second match day. I believe it was the first OGN match day these teams played. That was with Untara in the lineup, Effort at support, and Blank in the jungle. KDA-wise, Bang has the highest KDA of anyone in the league. Ends the first round robin at 8.7 KDA. Was Bang first into Kramer as the second KDA. Bang has been great even in losses, largely on the Ezreal.
Yeah, it's been the Ezreal, the Sivir as well. Absolutely gigantic KDA on that champion.
Let's not
talk
about Sivir ever again.
Are you having Teddy flashbacks? Is this a problem?
PTSD. Sivir and Azir both tilt me at this point.
I apologize, but he is an incredible player of that particular champion. Sangyoon actually in solo queue recently has been playing a hell of a lot of Ezreal. We'll see whether they're going to contest for that pick, because you have to feel that he's probably trying to grab that one to take it away from Bang more than anything else. We are going to highlight him right now. 5-3, but when you've got a loss record that's actually higher than your win record at the moment, having a stat like that is actually very impressive. 12.6 KDA on Ezreal.
Yeah, the Ezreal, of course, is ultra comfort for Bang, Bang and Prey. But today, two of the all-time Ezreal gods are going to be on the Rift, no doubt, contested. The other picks, as you say, win-loss, not going to be very impressive. Yeah. Just really looking at what he's playing. I think the Sivir is kind of a thing of the past. Definitely could see some Varus today. Justana might be a surprise, but much lower priority in Korea to other regions. We'll talk about that if the pick ever crops up. And here's a fun matchup. Lava against FLICKR. Seen a lot of fun interactions between the two. Of course, Lava was Taehoon, a support sub on SK Telecom T1 in 2015 and 2016. So FLICKR would have been his senpai then. He's a mid laner now, so I'm sure FLICKR still is senpai. So it's a fun matchup between two players that know a bit about each other.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look back at 2017, Lava has just grown so much since then. Came in as a bit of a role player, playing pretty much only the Corki and Orianna to not exactly the levels that we really wanted to, but now comes in, debuts Karma in the LCK, was the debut of the Galio as well, if you remember, and his Echo that didn't die was ridiculous.
I wonder if we'll see this exact matchup, because Casson was considered a pretty good pick into Corki. Been two big picks for both players. It's SK Telecom, so I think they'll come in with a pretty big fan vote. So let's see what the numbers are. 81% say SKT. If anybody's been watching the LCK closely, this is much closer than that would appear. Choosing between the two makes you kind of fight your heart and your head. SKT have been in better form. They are SKT. Surely you pick them every time they're on the Rift, many people will say, but ROX is in great form as well. So game one, pick and ban, just game one in general. I think my prediction is whoever wins game one will take the series.
Yeah, exactly, and it's feeling like it, on paper, based on our experience of the LCK thus far, it's been a long time since ROX and SKT have reached this level of parity. You have to go back years to a very different ROX Tigers for that to really be a feeling that we've had.
And honestly, I was front row for those games, Atlas. It always felt like the ROX Tigers could do it, but they couldn't. SKT were always the final boss they could never overcome. So let's see how this iteration of ROX Tigers goes. We're jumping into 8.3. Second round robin play for ROX Tigers and SKT, and already ROX Tigers taking their time. And a lot of mid lane bans so far on this patch, but that pesky Ezreal, the KDA god, is gone.
Yeah, ROX just gonna get rid of it. Sangyoon says, nah, wasn't able to practice quite enough of it, guys. Not ready to first pick it. Let's just try and grab potentially a mid laner for Lava, because I'm really glad you brought that up. Yes, 8.3 has been all about the mid lane, but I feel like this matchup is also all about the mid lane, because Lava has been playing extraordinarily well. The Zoe pretty much needs to be banned against both of these guys. FLICKR's last performance was outstanding.
And my eyes are actually higher than the mid lane. The top lane to me is something very interesting with Untara back in the lineup.
True, bit of a wild card.
He and Blank have drawn the most criticism of any players on SKT so far this season, so Untara right now only has victories on Gnar. He's 3-2 Gnar. Every other champion he's played is a loss. Lindarang's best champion is Gnar as well. So very interesting to see when Gnar falls in the pick and bans. The Galio banned away. Some SKT fans happy, some sad. The FLICKR won't be jumping on the Galio. Blue side first pick for them very commonly.
Who's sad? No one was.
They're winning with it recently, Atlas.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's Galio. FLICKR's got to play something good.
Hey, you know that I'm a dirty Galio picker and solo
I know,
queue.
exactly.
He's fun.
FLICKR, come on. You're better than Papa Smithy. We all know this.
Now, mid lane, suddenly it gets very interesting. 3 mid lane bans.
Yeah, is it Azir that has to be banned away here by SKT? No, the Gnar gonna hit the bench.
So they won't be able to take it on the second round. They probably feel like getting an Azir in exchange for Gnar is not worth it. Suddenly, things like Sangyoon will become contested. I don't know about first pick. This would be a pretty big reach, but We know that Xayah has been massive in solo queue around the world, and in Korea has been jumping up in priority. The Azir and the Sejuani, to me, will be slightly bigger ticket items. The Sejuani will be first picked. We're looking at stats today. Sejuani contested, either picked or banned, in 98% of games in
Feels
Korea.
like all but one so far, Papa Smithy.
And that was just the other day. So
Yeah.
see, the Sejuani priority can actually lower. And look at this, very early Skarner, first time for Blossom. Cool to see, as Skarner's another pick that's been jumping up.
Yeah, and actually the last-minute switchover was thinking about the Azir for FLICKR, but instead wanting to grab that Kalista. And I do like sort of last pick, first round mid lane pickups.
Xayah
That's
Rakan
the Xayah, yeah, exactly.
is available here. It'll be taken on the blue side. Sangyoon is undefeated on Xayah this season, 4-0. Always been comfort for him. There's actually a really strong initiation trio picked already on the blue side here. Xayah Rakan jumping up and up after the 8.2 changes to Relic Shield. Will SKT pick up a support here or try to pick a solo lane and start banning away counters? Azir is the strongest mid laner available.
I feel like Azir and then ban the Corki, right? Like, you can do something like that against Lava, who is comfortable in that particular matchup.
And you're kind of tempted to ban the LeBlanc that he hasn't played in competitive a lot, but was ultra comfort for him in solo queue. But
Instead,
now, though,
respect for Lindarang towards the top side. His Vladimir was where he started really making strides back to becoming a decent top laner here in the LCK.
yeah, it might just be Vladimir Camille banned on the red side, or an attempt to first pick the Camille for top lane. Pick that Untara has been practicing. ROX Tigers are undefeated in recent memory on the Camille. So 3-1, so still very powerful pick for Lindarang. And getting lane pressure for Lindarang, especially against a player low on any sort of recent competitive form, like Untara, low on confidence probably as well. Look at this, actually.
Oh
he
my
played
God,
the Echo
wow,
into
yeah.
it last time. He'll take an Echo ban. And it seems SKT say, hey, if you want to play Corki and scale up, we're going to play aggressive, look for picks. We're not worried about the Corki.
Yeah, FLICKR is, of course, always very confident in his laning prowess, and that's going to be Tahm Kench banned away. I thought Alistar could have been an option here as well for Wolf if they wanted to fight initiation with initiation, but just going to leave that one open.
Will they last pick support here? You'd think last picking for top would get the confidence up.
Pretty
for
easy Braum
Untara.
pickup if they wanted to
exactly.
right now.
There's many safe options, or the Alistar if you want to have a bit more initiation.
Yeah.
Wolf on the screen right now. The Alistar seems free. They will take the Kalista lane.
I love it.
So what about the solo lanes for ROX? Will it just be Corki and then a very safe top laner is kind
Corki
of the
Sion?
choice?
You feel like Corki Sion feels like the right idea?
Corki Sion would be a lot of frontline and 2 super damage dealers, but Corki does take some time to get going. Would they go anywhere else? It is Lava, one of our better Corki players. You mentioned it already. He's one of the people that brought Corki back in this season after being away for a long time.
Yep, him and Kuro, pretty huge fans of this particular champion, starting off playing that one quite early on, but that is the Corki.
I think your choice here for Lindarang is either Sion or something that beats Sion in lane, because it's such a safe
point.
option for Untara, champion that can't really be denied. Thinking about the Camille that we mentioned already, would be a farm lane against the Sion. Still not going to be kill threat on Sion because lol Sion, but Camille would be some more guaranteed initiation. So here we go. A lot of initiation here. Sejuani, the Camille Hextech Ultimatum, and just Rakan's suite of CC. Action moves on to SKT. Would Untara actually go to something like the Jack? Surely not.
Seems pretty crazy, but I actually do like matching the split
It's a
push
skill
potential
matchup
of ROX
as well.
yeah. If SKT
Wow,
can find
okay.
themselves a 4v4 opportunity and the Jax is going to be locked in, sort of that duelist extraordinaire on the top side of the map.
This is really interesting to see SKT have the confidence, both in terms of the player and the squad, to lock in a 1v1 matchup, because the last time we saw Untara fight fire with fire, the Camille versus Fiora, went awfully for the side of Untara. So he's coming in, demanding resources, jumping on Jax on patch 8.3. And now, if he can perform on this game, it will mean so much for his confidence and also SKT's flexibility. Tal coming in has looked good, but he hasn't necessarily demanded the spot, taken it by the scruff of the neck and said, I am the top laner for all future. Untara has the experience. He is a solo queue monster. Can he make the Jax work? You see him getting a bit of support from the coaches here. They're feeling it
here. Wry
here.
smile on his face as well, Papa Smithy. I'm feeling like SKT are ready to really fight fire with fire, and What I'm thinking about is sort of how the coaches were feeling in that last moment for ROX. They were thinking, okay, shit, we can't actually have a situation where we let this game go to a team fight because there's Kalista, there's Alistar, there's Azir. We've got mental team fighting to go up against. Let's win via the split push. SKT see it, and they're like, well, we'll just pick Jax and we'll just go for a 4v4 instead. I really like the mind games behind the scenes. We'll see whether it actually works out for SKT, who were the ones to be able to throw that gauntlet.
Colorful analysis for a colorful game. SKT versus ROX Tigers. This will be hype.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as we get into game one. SKT versus the ROX Tigers. Let's go. Whoa.
T1 fans in full voice. The old
Absolutely.
SKT connection between Lava and FLICKR. So in the mid lane, Lava, of course, jumping onto the Ice Toboggan Corki for unnamed cultural event in Korea that we still can't talk about.
I was wondering where you were going to go there.
Have you heard?
Oh, watch
Have you
out,
heard
Papa.
something's happening in Korea, guys?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was like, I think I saw a toboggan on the news. I don't know. So that's probably why. There was probably something that happened. A cat was caught in a toboggan or something like that.
There was some
Obviously.
ROX Tigers family members in the audience there, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm actually amazed they managed to find them because so far, this place is packed and it is full of SKT signs. Oh yes, we've got the lawnmower. I love this skin.
The Skarner special from Ambition.
My absolute all-time favorite.
Ambition with a large baseball bat is often pictured with this particular skin. This was the skin that sent Samsung to Worlds in 2016 when they upset KT Rolston the first time. By the next year, it was hipster. It wasn't that cool, you know? We knew, all the 2016 LCK fans knew about that.
He kind of looks like an oven mixed with a lawnmower.
So this is really interesting. Let's talk about top lane as another cultural skin here in the Mighty Jax.
They're making it as happy as possible, Papa.
Untara has gone into Kleptomancy on the Jax. One of the reasons why we don't see a lot of top lane Jax, and of course Hshin would be the one to talk about this, is lack of keystones for a lot of fighters in the top lane, Jax included. So going for the Kleptomancy for W trades, where you can get the gold generation. Lindarang on the Camille is one of the few top laners that has a real keystone rune that you can feel good about. The Comet there for the W trade. So in the early game, I expect the trades to go well. But once the levels come in, there's a lot of outplay potential. It's kind of Fiora versus Camille in different skins, as we do have the Counter-Strike to answer the precision protocol, that was hard to say, from the Camille. So a lot of outplay potential on the top side, and the junglers also potentially coming in to ruin the day of one another.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to track. Sort of both of them having that one stun to watch out for. But Lindarang having that wave pushed into his turret. We've got a bit of a roam here from Untara, just trying to get some vision down. Does get it there. Saw SeongHwan some pretty cheeky double camp starting, just to give himself as much of a lead as possible here in this jungle, as he's going to use this blast cone to get himself over the edge. Skarner could be taken.
Doesn't want to announce his position, so will not actually claim the Spire.
Yeah, interesting mind games that happen when you've got sort of...
The problem with the Spire is you feel good about the 15 gold and the immediate vision, but then you're like, wait, now the enemy knows where we are.
I was going to mention Dominion again on broadcast, but I really probably shouldn't.
Guys, we are on patch 8.3, so of course, still Tracker's Knife in the game. Still no new AP items. We're all excited to see them soon, but not to be for now.
Yep. Zoe, of course, still incredible this particular patch. That's why we saw her banned out second from SKT.
Take that Comet.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Yeah, so Camille does have the early options, and Untara just has to use his Counter-Strike to hold the wave as much as possible. It's in a great spot for Untara, because Lindarang is almost under turret here, but it is Skarner pre-6, so not much to talk about. We will mention that Skarner is going with the Korean special, the Predator. Being the big rune on Skarner for the Turbo Skarner shenanigans to come out without even boots of mobility or the Righteous Glory needing to be complete. I feel like we're going to get to comical levels soon with Shirelia's Reverie, Righteous Glory. No. We're going to have so many items to make Skarner fast. Are we going to break the land speed record? That'd be amazing.
I think we might. I mean, then I think Rammus is just going to come back into the game. Yeah. Had to mention it. I'm just really glad that Shirelia's is coming back, because we always called Talisman of Ascension Shirelia's anyway. So at least now we're going to be right. Like, Thank goodness.
They're different items, though.
I know, but they do the same thing when you press the button, okay?
They do. You're right.
And I always called it Shirelius. It was really bad.
But Talisman's gone now, so the Frost Queen's claim. So they said they were going to bring back the items, and I guess Twin Shadows to bring back the Spooky Ghost, Shirelia's Reverie to bring back the team speed up. So fun to see. This matchup in the early levels for Corki is not actually that fun. Wherever you position, when you go to Phosphorus Bomb the backline, you end up taking a Q from the Azir and some auto attacks, so it's no fun at all in the early levels, but he'll get there.
Even after 8.3 with a few little nerfs to the Azir as far as that Q, cooldown, and the fact that you do pull minion aggro.
Wait and see the skill order coming through from Untara. Oh, look at this, another Emax Skarner.
Oh,
the LCS, man, the LCS is getting in there. So far, Emax Skarner has a 0% win rate in Korea. It's one game from Raze, but...
Yeah. In fact, Skarner doesn't exactly have the greatest win rate so far.
Look, it's new tech. We're working it out.
Yeah.
We said on the first day here at the Gangnam Stadium, I said, okay, 3 champions this week. This key might just be turned on to.
Yeah, straight up face checking. Level 4 though, so he can grand exit his way out if he wants to.
I said this week would be Sangyoon, Skarner, and I've already had it.
Tristana?
The Victor. Those were the 3 that I was thinking. We've seen all 3 of them. Less Victor than I first predicted with all the mid lane bans, but on a single game of Victor. But it does feel like Sangyoon and Skarner are pretty central to the meta right now. Very
expecting
popular.
A little bit of a Tristana priority to rise this week as well. It hasn't really happened.
It's been really low in Korea. I was doing a bit of meta-analysis of the different regions, and Tristana is one of the few that huge disagreements on. It feels like Korea will take Ezreal in every scenario compared to the Tristana.
These things happen, though, when you've got certain players in your league as well. I mean, we have the top 3 Ezreal players in the world, so of course you're going to have Ezreal being picked all the damn time. Once again, Untara getting a massive shove onto this wave. Will be Lindarang in the lead as far as the CS is concerned after he picks up that wave underneath the turret, but a lot of pressure being put down by SKT, and we'll have the teleport sooner than ROX Tigers.
Fun thing about getting fighters in the top side is we get very early game itemization. Double Doran's Blade, Corrupting Potion into Dark Seal, just for extra regeneration. The early trades do go the way of the Camille having the Comet, so it is fun to see so much investment in the early game when usually it's Gangplank building Relic Shield and Culls and things like that.
Or we've got Ornn versus Sion for the ultimate boredom.
I mean, isn't it exciting? What a revolutionary concept. Both top laners want to kill each other pre-10 minutes.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous.
They're not saying, aha!
Let's not get used to it, okay?
Yeah, we can't.
Cowards.
We get one game where that happens.
Yeah. Thanks, Untara. Welcome back, my friend. I'm really glad you're here. Goldo is incredibly even here at 7.5 minutes into this game. Bottom side of the map, Bang & Wolf doing an absolute fine job. This Alistar Kalista up against the Xayah Rakan that can be doing a lot of work. And as we talk about it, the Ignite goes down to the Sangyoon. Yeah, the flash is right in there. Wolf just wants to get under the turret. Everyone's trying to get out, but they can't. Bang! Grabs first blood.
Man mode stuff from Bang has been in great form. As we mentioned, the KDA god flashes aggressively, knows their damage output. Bit of a slide, shake of the head coming through from Sangyoon. He knows he's been bested by a great play from SKT's bot side.
Yeah. Christopher walking EJ hard out. We got so much cowbell on the bottom side of the map. Wolf just making sure he gets in there. As soon as he hits that level 6, that's
Wolf
when all the action happens.
In lane is not something we've been able to talk about. Of course, Wolf wasn't starting support at the start of the season. They've been just farming it up on the Ezreal, lulled everyone into a false sense of security. This was really slick. I mean, there was no level 6 advantage there. Just an excellent play coming through from Bang. We knew about the Ezreal. We wanted to see it on some other champions. No surprise, it is formerly undefeated Kalista, which has fallen down in win rate, is still on point.
Yeah, he's got a skin for the champion. You'd think that he probably still knows how to play it, and certainly does look great this game so far. Lava picks up a package. Package is comically huge on that particular skin.
It's the best name for an ability as well. Where's Valdez? Talk about a big package.
No, I don't really. I don't think he should be invited to that conversation. He'll get baited again, I think.
It's true. It did turn out that he actually thought the name of the ability was Big Package. It somehow makes it funnier.
He plays a lot of Corki, though.
He plays on the Korean side.
Well, that's true.
That's Korean.
True. Okay.
We just about got the English to work so we could understand the new itemization the last couple of days.
I needed that tooltips are very confusing.
Well,
as we are
needs
going to
some
have a bit of a meeting. Yeah, Blossom, half health already. Package does go down as there's the Emperor's Divide. FLICKR going to have to deal with Lava, though, as Untara's going to turn up first. The flash comes in, though. FLICKR gets out of the edge, but Blossom, oh my god, he's still alive. Okay, he will fall down, though. Crimson Brown back will help, and FLICKR will have to get himself out of there. Lava flashes out of the way, but Untara just gets in. Leap Strike, and that's going to be the Corki finished off. 1-2 now, as the exchange was 1-1.
Lindarang doesn't have backup either. First roam from SKT's bot lane. How is he going to get out of this? Doesn't even have teleport to channel.
Misses the hook shot too. This could be a big problem. As Wolf is just strutting his stuff. Headbutt Pulve comes in. That's one auto attack, and FLICKR going to grab that kill onto the top laner as well. Things falling apart for ROX in the early game.
In a bigger way than you can notice, Atlas. Notice that Untara went back to lane, pushed it in. SeongHwan will get a bit of farm, but this is 2.5 to 3 minion waves. There was already a group minion wave pushing in on the top side, and Lindarang cannot teleport back to pick it up. We'll have teleport in about 10 seconds. Maybe just stays in base. Be a faster way to get to top side. But by then, most of the minions will be gone. So this gold lead is going to be including significant farm loss. Camille was up a lot of CS.
Yeah.
Just because it was Comet Camille in the early game versus Jax. This is big punishment to the ROX Tigers.
I love it out of SKT, though, understanding that Untara was putting on a whole lot of pressure. He missed a bunch of CS just because he was shoving that wave over and over again. Meant that if there are going to be any of these skirmishes, he will be able to get there much faster. Does have that Counter-Strike to give a lot of power to his teammates. Worked very well. Able to capitalize on just good map play.
And good news, the AP stacking is starting. The Magi is soon to be on the menu. 2 stacks on the Dark Seal there.
Oh, baby.
Does have AP ratios on a lot of his abilities.
If only Sheen still had AP. He
Even
might
gets
actually get the adaptive to go back
Remember,
to AP.
his ult still gives resist as well based on AP and AD.
His W does extra damage based on AP.
Boom!
Well. Yeah. AP Jackson, I want him to build Gunblade. Just give up on this Trinity Force fiasco. Just get a Gunblade.
Untara spent his whole break theory crafting this build.
He's about to build a Gunblade and a Rage Blade afterwards.
Anything's possible. Blossom shadowing FLICKR. No surprise there.
He will be able to shift some sands to get his way out of here if he wants to, though. As Blossom gets the Impale down. SeongHwan is actually pretty tanky, though, and FLICKR is in trouble. Emperor's Divide comes down. He's on such low health, but he's not Lava. He's not able to walk away with that one. Can Blossom actually get any work done? No, it's a double kill, as Lindarang just wants to get Untara out of there. And what we were commending SKT for goes back and bites them in the butt.
It feels like they misread how much damage FLICKR would be able to do on the turn. No summoners up to try to turn. Corki with 2 items able to out-damage, and I feel like Sejuani comfortably out-damages Skarner in the early levels. This rotation also is going to take the turret. I don't know if this teleport's smart. Untara's going to end up having to cancel it. Too late on the call. Behind on the rotation after their jungler and mid laner go down. Blossom was not spotted here, so that he thought, okay, I got the drop. We'll be able to make this happen. But Lava rotates quickly. FLICKR does take the maximum damage, dies eventually. Once Valkyrie comes in, Blossom knows he's also in a world of hurt.
Yeah, weren't any options there whatsoever.
First rotation from the top side as well. Jax was not going to be able to cut in the face of Lindarang. Action-packed early game so far. We're lucky to get a first blood by 39 minutes sometimes. Can't buy him. But this one we've had constant action. The bot lane is still a source of power we have to remember for SKT. So playing bot side, a lot more comfortable for Blossom and friends.
Yeah, now Wolf does have his Moby Boots as well, so he can get around the map very, very quickly. SeongHwan is extraordinarily tanky though, 0-0 and 3, 100% kill contribution so far at 14 minutes approximately into this game, and there's a Trinity Force done for Lava. We know what he can do on this champion because he understands how to play around his item power spikes. There's an example of that just before. Having that Sheen proc meant that FLICKR just melted. Grab a blue buff now, certainly is still strong. Nash's Tooth almost done.
I feel like 131 is the happiest news here for ROX Tigers. You mentioned that they looked at some of the options available to SKT, namely the Kalista and Azir.
Yeah.
Thought better of pure team fight as a win condition. That's why the Camille draft came in. They would have been surprised to see Untara move away from something like a Scion and jump onto the Jax looking for lane. That does mean that when Jax eventually is able to overpower, which it feels like you get there every time, is very deep teleport coming in from Key.
Yeah, and he's going to get the grand entrance. FLICKR,
Beautiful.
no options. The layering's perfect. The Emperor just denied in his own home, behind his own lines.
This is so important for ROX because they'll be able to play 1-3-1 much earlier as the map gets longer, the items start to roll in. Trinity Force on the Corki. They needed to get things done early. That's why the early kill bot lane seemed to put a rain on their parade. The parade's back on. We don't know how big the float is. It hasn't been rated out of 10. But things better for ROX Tigers than expected, and Key is going to stick with the Unsealed Spellbook. His playmaking has always been the reason he's been a respected support in Korea.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is we haven't had to talk about the extra power that you get if the laning phase is still going and you lose the mid tower. It is so much extra map control, and FLICKR just wasn't safe enough. You'd think with the shifting sands comboed with the Q that he'd be able to escape most of these ganks. His flash only just came back up. But no, it wasn't an option. SKT are going to have the Rift Herald power that they can use in the mid lane to try and get that back, but already losing a whole lot.
No mid laner to finish off this turret, so that's happy with a burst. No more, no less. Ocean Drake the next spawn, and that's kind of been the only area where SKT has been strong. So we'll see if the Drake stacking can begin. Well, control the red side. This is, again, the only part of the map that they're in a good spot to hold. Camille herself spent a long time on this particular shop, so I imagine we'll have close to a Trinity Force on this back. We'll wait and see. Doesn't have Klepto, so doesn't have quite the same gold generation. Went for boots too, so actually just a Sheen. Very interesting to see how far behind Lindarang is, all things considered.
Yeah, and Untara actually being able to pick that one up, the extra movement speed as well, meaning that he can get himself towards a bunch of these fights.
I just want to see the top lane fight. I want the man fight.
Yeah.
I want 1v1. Let's go.
Well, I mean, it's man and woman fight.
That's true. Manly fighting is no one teleports away and nobody ganking, please. That's what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
The 1v1.
Wait, actually, I mean, Camille's like mostly a robot.
It's true. I don't think that... I don't want to speculate on what that means.
I know. I feel like we're getting into dangerous territory. I mean,
SKT also are getting into dangerous territory here. They have, in this particular scenario, less map control than they want because the bot side red jungle, which is all they can control, is what's being defended best by the side of ROX Tigers. 2 control wards put there. Everywhere else on the map, Blossom's next ultimate needs to pay off. 0, 2, and 1. It's kind of taking a while as they would love top lane to be the place it's pulled off.
Yeah. Both of the CCs down, and look at the power of the Trinity Force pickup from Untara. Nothing Lindarang could do, and he's just going to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, he's got no vision on his side, so smartly, where's the enemy jungler? Probably near me. It's a pretty good read coming through, and Untara with the Trinity Force going to make short work of the top lane turret. A bit of CS as well. Very, very nice. Solo turret gold. In this particular case, not of the first blood turret of the game, but still consequential, and Untara keeps growing. And we're finally seeing Untara play with more confidence. This is not Untara after, being the only recognized starting top laner and having a couple of struggles at the start of the season. He's pushing up. He's happy to take aggressive moves. And again, you think back to his games on Fiora, for example, where, he'd be put in a skill matchup and then just kind of farm. He'd be put in a winning matchup and just farm. He wouldn't have the confidence to actually command the game to revolve around him. And while there are times you do that, unfortunately, it felt like in every single situation, he was playing on the defensive side. Sometimes you need to be a carry at the top level, and we're waiting to see if Untara can be that for SKT.
Well, thankfully, FLICKR is not going to face check, as Lava and SeongHwan were hanging around over there. And Untara only finding success on the Nara as well, so like you say, not able to make more of these carry-style champions work, because he was more of a team fight Nara when you watched him play. More augmenting the rest of his team. ROX actually playing up here along the river, but just warding things out. Looks like this Ocean Drake could be a source of a battle here between these two.
Their items are a lot better for playing 1-3-1. Double Trinity Force is completed, but not the second item for the Corki. The Essence Reaver, a building block item for the Xayah, is completed, but nothing more. So I think realistically, they'd love to play 1-3-1 and just have Xayah wave clear her way to 2 to 3 items.
Yep.
But SKT close to a Hurricane already to complement the Blade of the Ruin King, and also the 1-item Azir. Means that true 5v5 is tricky for ROX. The only issue with wanting to play 1-3-1 is that actually getting enough vision on the map to stop the Skarner from just outnumbering on the split push is going to be tricky. So it's very interesting. We have a very tense part of the game now where both teams are pretty happy, all things considered, with where the game is at, but we're ready for it to be pushed or pulled in one direction based on the next big passage of play.
Yep. I also feel like ROX are sweating a little bit, you know, they're waiting for that time where SKT is going to force a 4v4 and have Untara actually win in that split push, but SKT going to use the teleport. Ultimate comes out, but no follow-up there from SeongHwan, who's got himself into the pit, steals away the dragon, but is it worth it as Wolf gets a nice double knock-up with the pulverize?
Just want to get out.
That FLICKR is going to get stunned up, and SKT are going to walk away. No ability to follow this one, so a successful trade there for ROX as they pick up the dragon and walk away.
Now, ROX knew their role in that fight. That was really smart. On the replay, if we get one, you'll be able to see. They never had any interest in actually initiating. It was always, let's cause enough commotion, stun up the enemy jungler, and smite it away. They were able to do that. They had to invest flash on both of their bot lane members, but they were never looking for a full commitment when they're not strong enough, when the items are still coming together, and they kind of steal the Drake and stop the stacking win condition under the noses of SKT, who couldn't make the aggressive move happen.
No, just didn't flat out work, but this
one
might as they hop underneath the turret. That's going to be the first kill onto Sangyoon. And Bang out of turret range, picks up the double. Impale just to add insult to injury as SeongHwan is going to join his friends in the death chamber. Triple, no it's not. Untara is going to pick up that kill. I would have sworn that Bang would pull out those sticks, but they want to make sure they've got gold on their split pusher. Smart play from SKT as we enter the mid-game.
And now the next level. After we compliment ROX for their smart play around Drake, SKT double down on the lane that just used their flashes to take an Ocean Drake. They're hoping ROX they can take a trade on the top lane turret, but FLICKR will just walk up and deny. Now SKT swing the pendulum their way. Watch the replay and remember that in all of this, ROX are trying to defend with no summoners or ultimates on their bot lane. That's not going to work out when Untara comes bot lane, when Blossom is there as well. Corki's in base. Camille did not want to respond to this. It's a bad lane assignment for ROX Tigers. They thought with just the Sejuani showing, nothing would happen, but the ults were down, the summoners were down. There was no reason for SKT to respect, and no respect was given to ROX Tigers.
Oh, heck no. Sangyoon almost has his next item. Looks like Hurricane will be the option. Seeing a little bit more of this on the Xayah.
Could just be a Phantom Dancer as well.
Could theoretically, yeah.
A couple of different ways you can read into the build, but one of the two.
Would be a very defensive option going Ninja Tabi and the Phantom Dancer.
So the problem with the game as it goes on is I almost feel like Untara will be better at playing the role of Camille than Camille in the late game. Just because once you get close to 40% CDR, you just walk up, counter-strike. It's effectively a Hextech ultimatum because you're stuck with the Jax, you can't peel away. And then you get a second counter-strike in a fight. It gets very low cooldown once you get 5 points. The amount of anti-carry that a Jax is able to do in a late game team fight is kind of reminiscent of Mundo, just in a different way, with both damage threat and the counter-strike being on a pretty low cooldown. Whereas Lindarang is the one ultimatum that can be disengaged by Azir, can be disengaged by the Alistar, even the Skarner can ult out of the Hextech ultimatum. So there's a lot of options as the game goes on, and Untara has been rolling 2-0-2, a CS lead. Kleptomancy also buffing up. Still got 6 stacks.
Well, that's a huge impale, yeah. Blossom's going to be able to pick that one up. Lava explodes as Bang's going to pick up the kill. Now Sangyoon up in the air with the Featherstorm, but Wolf just so up close and personal. Blast Cone gets everyone out of there as Blossom picks up the kill. That's a beautiful pierce. Make that one a double for Bang as SeongHwan heading for the hills and SKT heading for Baron.
And ROX Tigers are playing against SKT as if it was SKT with blank, a team that was afraid, a team that wasn't able to make decisive engages. They're taking every decision and going in. They're going to take a Baron for free off the back of it. SKT are not a team to be trifled with, and trifled too many times by ROX Tigers.
And how did they do that? They pick up the 2-item power spike and the QSS onto Bang, and then pick exactly the fight that they were looking for. Turn it into a Baron. They lose the bottom outer turret, but who cares?
And remember, ROX do not want to 5v5 against the items as they're completed. They think they're setting up a defense, but SKT are decisive. Blossom knows only one way, and it's to make the pick. No QSS to get the Corki out. Means Corki's instantly dead. The Jax isn't even here with his mountain of gold. By the time he shows up, he's just picking up experience on the back end, but they get the Baron, they grow the lead, and with that 3rd item purchase from Bang, it tells you they don't want to be sitting here for 40 minutes. It's a snowball guardian angel. They're thinking the next Fate's Call into the Alistar could be the end of the game.
Yeah, and that could just mean the breaking of the base there as well, because they can't freely try and pick Bang off, so he can be more aggressive. Kalista, not the highest range, so now can get underneath that turret and try and smack these ones down. I love this as well, because SKT, understanding that their 4v4 is where they can win a fight, find the fight, take the Baron. It's like, this is the SKT of old, just intelligent draft and then intelligent execution around it at the same time.
Side of ROX are trying to play around the fact that QSS will not be upped into. They want max damage on Corki and Xayah as early as possible. 2 items now on the Xayah, but also the Flavor of the Month choice, the Zeke's Convergence to buff up the damage coming out of the Xayah in the line. Works on all the on-hit from the Q. The only way you can pull that off is if you just Sejuani ultimate the Skarner and kill him and force it into a 5v4, which is certainly possible, but with Skarner just pulling a plenty.
Yeah, he's just wandering around. He's so tanky right now as SKT. They don't like the fight. Opt out of it all too easily. And
that was, he was a long way away from his team there, just to be clear.
He was wandering casually
He was
around
so
3
suspiciously
people.
aggressive. Speaking of suspicious aggression.
Yeah, there's the Fate's Call. That's going to get in there. The double knock-up. Grand entrance onto 2, though, as Bang goes down relatively low. But nothing's going to stop him from auto-attacking. He's going to go back to full health almost off a ward. Is now ROX Tigers wonder where their jungle went. Another engage. Wolf's massive as FLICKR joins the ranks of the knock-up crew. So Lindarang's just trying to keep them at bay as FLICKR flashes his way out, shifting sands, gets the shield, he's going to be fine. SKT are just styling right now.
They're so aggressive, they don't actually get anything from the aggression, but the mindset is always to go in. This is what we admired from them before the Congresses, the previous 2 with Blossom. They just took a rough diamond, a very aggressive carry jungler, and said, what if we were also aggressive too, and started flashing over walls and initiating at every moment, defying 3 years of expectation about what SKT is and isn't. They're back to it here, relentlessly aggressive, but to the tune of an 8,000 gold lead. They're feeling great about the playstyle, and ROX Tigers, they're a foot off the pace, because the pace is breakneck by SKT.
Yeah. Reflected in their items like we spoke about before. Only about 30 seconds left of the Baron buff, so no breaking of the base this time around with the purple swirlies. Still feeling okay about the situation. Double control ward actually picked up for Bang as well. See, we'll be able to grab the red buff as soon as it spawns. Just hanging around for that one at the moment. Titanic Hydra done, and Untara looking for item number 3. Looks to be Steric's Gauge to come in. This is a trio of items that you're a big fan of, Pub Smithy.
Very fun one, like you say, but I'm more keeping my eyes on Bang, whose item build reminds me of the old Steric's Gauge Kalista days, but back before it was a melee-only item. It was a lot of the tank Kalista, I'm just going to rend forever, and eventually I got enough stacks to kill anyone. Guardian Angel into Mercurial Scimitar. It's a frontline Kalista because I got a story for you, Atlas. There is no backline for SKT. You can already tell. They're all flashing after every kill. It's a 5-man frontline from the side of SK Telecom T1, so if he wants to be able to play in the front line, he has to buy his items, pay his toll, and now he can be a frontliner too.
And they just trust FLICKR to create a backline situation for them, you know? He throws out the Emperor's Divide and says, now we're in the backline, guys. It's okay. Everyone's out of here. He's got a Banshee's Veil. 3 items here for the Azir.
Blossom will have Flash soon. Still has Predator, still has Righteous Glory. Ready to go for a pick on anyone. And there's 5 great targets, really, on the side of ROX Tigers, so no big worries, whoever it is.
Bevy of opportunities. Sangyoon had the worst feeling, had to sell a pickaxe for a BF sword just because they needed as much immediate power. Yeah, Sangyoon. Speaking of which, he's going to have to use the Featherstorm to get his way out, but Wolf takes a lot of damage.
Felt like Bang and Wolf were disconnected from the rest of the team there. They thought they were initiating, but Blossom was clearing wards on the bot side, so okay.
Bit hyphy. Maybe
no harm,
a bit
no
hyphy.
foul. Take a deep breath, try again.
Don't think it's too much of a big deal here as SKT just wanting to be as intimidating as possible.
They just roll around as 5. They're basically a death ball at this point. Feels like a freight train. Yeah, coin an old LPL adage when it comes to just being able to roll in and start a fight wherever you are. Someone will initiate on the side of SKT. They've got 5 initiators depending on how things are going. Not as conventional as the Ashe or the Maokai days when it comes to 5 initiators, but all of them able to go in, all of them itemizing as much early power as possible. ROX Tigers are shocked. They're on the back foot. Their items are in a decent spot, but they can never really 1-3-1. They never got a 1-3-1 phase because they made some mistakes, and SKT grew a huge gold lead through picking up an early Baron. And now, you can see Lindarang scared to enter the side lane. This Jax is something fearsome to deal with.
Yeah. And that was the answer here as well. Has so much wave clear with the Titanic Hydra added on top of everything else. Even a Warden's Mail now just to make sure that Lindarang will never be able to fight him. He still hasn't finished anything other than those first 2 items in Ravenous Hydra and the Trinity Force.
There's been no creeps for them to pick up because they haven't controlled the map to any significant degree. Second Baron in the game, spawning in a minute. Getting vision around the Baron has been impossible for the side of ROX, who are afraid of being picked by Skarner and friends every time they leave the base. So the gold lead only growing at this point in the game. ROX do have some light at the end of the tunnel. We mentioned the 5v5 from SKT. We like it a bit more. It's not like the huge outscale ROX. It's still going to be 6-item Corki. It's still going to be 6-item Xayah. But you can tell from the scoreboard and also just the lack of pressure that getting a front-to-back team fight is so difficult with SKT being so relentlessly aggressive.
Yeah. And also denying all vision. You saw how dark it was on the map as we are seeing the vision available to ROX Tigers. Just not a lot of it. With 20 seconds left on the Baron. Not quite at the stacking Baron patch yet, but still feeling like that sort of moment.
I mean, SKT have all the options. Jax is liking the 1v1 in the side lane. They have so much initiation and complete vision control. Kalista ultimate's back up, so it won't take too long for them to get frisky and try it again.
Untara going to be able to take this red buff very easily. Teleport is available, and Lindarang, almost there in time to try and get a cheeky steal, but not able to get anything.
He's not going to hook shot into the Jax, let me tell you that.
I don't think that's a good idea.
ROX just trying to suss out whether the enemy team's on Baron. One ward gives them the confirmation they're not.
Lava with the package. Gets the hell out of dodge as soon as he sees anyone coming out of the darkness. SKT repositioning. Blossom will get himself in there. Fate's Call once again is going to get thrown down as Wolf finds a headbutt, pulverized onto a couple of members. We've got a team fighting Jax, but he's getting ripped apart. Lava is going to grab that kill. It's a trade 1-for-1, but top laner for support. Feels good for the ROX Tigers. Featherstorm is the disengage, but there's the impale. Lava is going to get picked off. Make that a 2-for-1, and that is a big deal now as ROX lose a lot of the wave clear. Yeah,
an overforce from SKT, but they still end up trading up, all things considered. Bang was zoned out of damage. FLICKR couldn't get in either. Azir, of course, famously much better when you're attacking him than on the front foot. Still, with 2 kills, they're happy to break the base. They will take the first inhibitor of the game. They can turn back onto Baron with their control wards. So have a lot of options to play, and Untara will have teleport when he respawns in 15 seconds.
Yeah. ROX, not a whole lot of options. Key, of course, lower death timer, so he's going to be walking out of the base now, but SKT should be able to grab this, clear all of the vision necessary.
Only big ult available is FLICKR's. He still has the Emperor's Divide. Everything else on cooldown on both sides. Probably going to be a deep teleport. Yep, there's the zoom out.
Yep, Untara is going to turn up.
Too deep.
Yeah, a little bit.
He'll show up on a control ward as well. So they see the positioning of the Jax. They know SKT's looking for the turn again.
Yeah, Key taking a lot of damage, actually. The poke here from SKT is a huge deal. Lava, he's going to teleport in as well, but unable to find anything as far as getting himself in there for a battle, and the Baron's just going to get started. Bang going to have so much secure alongside Blossom.
All right, face check starts. 4,000 HP on the Baron. They're going to force it down, though.
Yep, it's gone. SKT is going to pick that one up. Another Fate's Call comes in as the Piggy's going to get knocked up. A triple pulverize coming in for Wolf, and Untara going to lock down Lava once again. The target set on this Corki is ridiculous as Sangyoon, he's going to bite the dust. No more damage left. Wolf is just everywhere on this cow today, Papa Smithy. It's a joy to watch, and SKT should probably be able to finish the game.
SKT looking for the end, just find the picks they're looking for. They found a bouncy castle comp that didn't include a Galio, a Zac, a Jarvan even. Who knew? As SKT rampaged through, so aggressive in the back end of the game, and this is all they wrote.
Yep. That is going to be Lindarang falling down just as a bit of a celebration. The Nexus will follow. SKT. What an incredible game one against the ROX Tigers that were rallying, that were feeling better in previous matchups. This looked like a 2017 ROX versus SKT.
I mean, it looks like a Neo SKT. I remember the days when CJ Blaze went through a big translation, they became Neo Blaze. It feels like Neo SKT with Blossom in the lineup, with the changes they have to how they play the game. Every adage about SKT in the past was a defensive one for the early to mid game. Relentless aggression is what we're seeing from SKT. Whenever they sniff that blood in the water, they will be aggressive, and it caught ROX Tigers out twice, to the tune of a Baron, to the tune of multiple kills, and a gold lead that was just not one they were going to be able to overcome.
Yeah. Massive shout out has to go to Untara as well. Seems like he's been in a hyperbolic time chamber, just practicing all sorts of different champions to make sure that he can be that top laner that SKT have been wanting for a long, long time now. Certainly was impressive on the Jax, winning out on the split push against the Camille. Was a fantastic answer in the draft. and then they were able to capitalize on it really nice.
It's a sample size of one, but he looked aggressive. He looked to find opportunities. He looked to try to make things for his team. Already, those are things you couldn't describe or ascribe to his performances before today.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Bang. Same time, the Kalista looking brilliant as always. Probably getting up towards that gigantic KDA that he has on the likes of the Sivir and the Ezreal as well. Just brilliant performance. Wolf's Alistar as well, getting the pulverize where he needed to. Feels like there's too many things that you can commend here for SKT.
Easy on the eye, a victory, young players being blooded. Lots of good news for SKT fans.
Yeah, it certainly is. We'll see whether they're going to be able to back it up with a 2-0 or whether ROX Tigers are going to be able to fight back as well, because Papa Smithy, this could possibly be a series, or it could be the return of SKT. We'll have a short break and game 2 right after.